This is the Raptor data search. It includes data that we extracted in a previous project from over 200 systematic reviews from the former Cochrane schizophrenia group. So what we did there is described in the paper here. But just to summarize, we took those 200 systematic reviews and ran text processing over it to extract all references in these reviews, to extract for these references and their studies all the outcome data and the numbers associated with the outcomes. We extracted the risk of bias assessments and the study characteristics. So if we go and search, for example, the outcomes, we can search in the comparison name, and we can search for things, again, like risperidone, because this is an example that we've used in these tutorials previously. Of course, there's a lot of information and a lot of data that was extracted for risperidone. So you can see here the comparison names. And you can see the control group name. And now for dichotomous outcomes, you will have control events, and for continuous outcomes, you will have the means and the standard deviation. And then there are also the total amount of people in this group. And then there is the same, of course, for the intervention. And then there are the outcome names. So in this specific review, for example, these were the outcomes. So for example, cognitive function, and then sometimes there are subgroups as well. So for cognitive function, different memory domains. And then together with that, you have the outcome type and the review title where this information was extracted from, plus the ID of the study within this review. So obviously for one study, you can have more than one outcome that was extracted. And then there are the references. So if you are coming from a place where you want to find data on a specific comparison or a specific intervention, then you can start by searching the outcomes table. But if you already know that you are including a trial in your review and you'd like to see if Raptor has the data set for it, then you can also try and find the trial here. So because here we are searching over all of the references. So here, for example, I've searched for like a certain author. You can again address the fields, and whenever there is a reference to a study in here, then there's very likely to be outcome data as well. What you can do is you can just use this RevMan ID and query the other data tables with this RevMan ID, and then this way you can retrieve the data. So for example, here we have study hoof, and we are going to use this now to query outcomes. So we could say, I'm gonna put that in quotation marks. So here, for example, we have the data for this study. Now, I think it is very important to say that this should always be double-checked by any reviewers that are using the data, but a suggestion for using this data would be, for example, to simulate a second reviewer or to simulate dual data extraction, because the data quality is likely very high, but still checks should be done. So again, if we go with our study here, we can access the study characteristics. So here the Cochrane reviewers have extracted information about the intervention and the control, something about the methods of this trial, of this study, about the participants, and then similar if we look again at this study. We can also get the risk of bias data as it was entered into the Cochrane review file, which is mostly the ROB risk of bias version 1 tool that was used here, because the dataset is from 2018, so the newer ROB tool wasn't available at that time.